You're now listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast.
I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October, a toast, but my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes, now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama, but I really got beatings cause the girl loved drama. In single parenthood, there I stood by the time she was 20.
Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast. As always, my name is Saitama Black, or you can just call me Black for short. I'm 1/3 of your host. As always, I'm never by myself. To my right, I got Sean P. Yeah. To my left, I got Lean.
What up, what up?
We also got a special guest host. What's up, man? Say hello to the people.
What's going on, good people?
Yeah. As the tagline says, we're three guys sitting on the couch talking hip-hop, sports, and life. Right now, we four, and we gonna do what we do. What we drinking on this month, Keith?
We got a little Jameson. Oldie but goodie, man.
That's
You can't
what's
go
up.
wrong with this, man. We drink
Old
this straight
reliable.
up. Yeah. So it's good, man. So Anthony, you fresh on the show. So what's up, man? What you think about the Jameson? Is that that's a go-to for you or no?
Of course. Oh, Jameson stays on stock. Can't go wrong.
Okay, let's talk to a man who got a bar at the house. Full-fledged bar. So yeah.
Jameson is our whiskey of the month. We'll post pictures and facts throughout the week, actually throughout the month about Jameson. So stay tuned for that. Lean, my
What's
man.
up? What's going on?
Well, we know the name of that song. Why don't you tell us a little bit of reason why you chose that song?
Oh, for those who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, that's P Rock and CL Smooth off of the Mecca the Soul Brother album back in 1992. We just thought it was fitting, speaking that we lost just a great, iconic figure to the culture, great director, and Mr. Singleton. That was P. In Portland, Texas.
That's a long ass pause.
Yeah, I know.
So, John Singleton passed away earlier this week, so we thought it was only fitting to dedicate that first song to him. We definitely gonna get into more about John and his legacy a little bit later in the show. But yeah, that was the reason I made that choice.
So we're going to use this opportunity, though, to talk about men's health and what little bit of men's health. And I say that because after that, fellas, after the whole incident with John Singleton and other men, other people dying, I've been getting a ton of calls from Marcy, just like, hey, I'm checking on you. I just want to make sure you're okay. You need anything?
Because he passed away of what they're saying.
It was
High blood
stroke,
pressure.
high blood pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know for me, I just, I just recently, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure maybe 2 years ago. I probably had it longer than that, but I've been managing it, and it's under control. Been taking my medication, working out, eating much better. And I just had to reassure my loved one that I'm taking care of myself. And the thing is, when you're with someone, you want to make sure that you include them in your life. And part of including them in your life is keeping them informed about your health. Make them a part of the process. That's how you improve, I think, your health, your overall health. I say all this, I should probably drop dead right now. I'm always a little hesitant to say something about it right there. But one of the things that I learned is proper nutrition. And we've been talking a little bit lately about eating or eating what you kill, and how that relates to proper nutrition. And one of the reasons why we got Ant on the show is because he's a master fisherman.
He can live off the grid.
You know what I'm saying?
Completely off
I
the
mean,
grid.
he's Black Bear Grylls. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pleasure to have him in here. He can talk to us a little bit about, you know, what it is that you do, and you know how you live off the fat of the land, and not just fat of the drive-through like some of us do.
And let us know how you how you develop the love for fishing, because I personally don't know a lot of black people that do that. I mean, speaking that right, exactly.
That's the other
so
thing.
how did
Like
that come about? So let's start from the beginning and let us know.
Oh, for sure. Definitely appreciate y'all. So where it really came from was the fact that I wasn't aware of a ton of people who were out there doing it. My mom's side of the family is from South Carolina, so I've always had kind of that country boy in me, but clearly I'm up here in the district. And if you've ever seen some of our lovely waterways around here, you're not about that life. But yeah, really probably around 9 or 10 years old, couple of buddies, like literally just doing this stupid cliche, almost TV stuff of just walking around like, hey guys, let's grab some poles and go fishing. Had no idea what we were doing, but got out there, just had a really good time. Caught something that we still to this day can't identify. We joke around about it. Clearly nobody ate it because
in the Potomac.
Anacostia.
Yeah, Anacostia. That's what I meant. Yeah.
So it might have been a person.
See
Who
the
knows?
a fish with 4 hands. You know, like fish ain't supposed to have 3 eyes.
Or a crack pipe.
So yeah, but that really kind of, you know, the bug is real, and once you kind of get bit, it's a really challenging sport, and most people don't respect it as a sport. But physically, like, fishing will whoop your ass.
Yeah.
You also have to be really thoughtful about what you're doing. You pay attention to the water, the line, the technique. Like, there's so much that can be learned in that space. It consumes you almost. You can concentrate on something. I know everybody around the table has also really, really involved jobs, and that's where it really jumped off for me. Offshore fishing is my love, like hundreds of miles offshore out on a boat. There's no cell reception, like there's literally just nothing but you and the wide open water. It's you and your thoughts. It's you and kind of that solace that you're having. And for me, that was so big. On land, I literally can't escape my phones. I got 2 phones right next to me, and I've got work is going 24/7. So in that space, I can kind of reconnect with just who I am as a person.
I think I can like appreciate that now. I don't think I could appreciate it that 10 years ago.
You know,
now, and I am.
Disconnected?
But really, and you know, now, you know, escaping 3 kids.
Right.
A wife, it's like, yo, I could use a little disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And go out there and really, like, just, like you said, let's just be alone with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's something brothers need to do. We need to focus on, man. And just getting away.
Also, it's a good way. I was thinking it's a good way to build. You know, I'm always thinking about building ways to make money. You know what I mean? So, like, imagine being out there with nothing else to do but just chill, talk, think, and plan.
Yeah.
For me, I do my best planning like on long road trips when it's just you with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely appreciate that being out there.
You planning on doing something? We planning on going fishing? All of us?
Well, let me be all transparent. I've known Anthony for, 10 years now?
Yeah, about that.
Wow.
So he's been talking to me about fishing for the longest time.
Right.
And I'm the biggest flake when it comes to that. I'm like, yeah. And then with time, I'm like, nah, because there's always something to do. I think now I can be like, all right, let's do it. So yeah, I'm saying it on the air. Set something up. It's gonna be a Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast fishing trip.
I'm with it.
And we just go out there.
Is it me or is he just losing his New Yorkness?
I don't know. Yeah.
I've been down here for a long time.
Just so you,
You know what I mean? But I think,
So you
but
know
I
you
definitely
can.
could appreciate that. And I think as you get older too, I think you definitely have to find
Ways to-
something. Because when you do get consumed with your family and this and that, like I think as men, we tend to get consumed.
Exactly.
And how do we like? it feels like, and you know, like that's your moment for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, nothing else is important. You could just think about you, concentrate on your thoughts, and really like de-stress. I would assume that it's a mad de-stressor to be out there in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't help but be calm from the water.
Exactly.
Like water, like yeah.
And I would assume if you you know, if you're able to de-stress and something like that, you become better for your family and everything.
Right. You come back better, you recharge.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And your health improves and all that other good stuff. So.
Stress, blood pressure, all that goes down. For real.
Yeah.
Just by being out there.
That is
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
so
What's the biggest thing you've ever caught?
let's see.
Besides, never mind.
I'd say my biggest catch that I actually landed would have been an amberjack down off of where was that? The Gulf of Mexico. It weighed in at about 79 pounds, and
Some big fish.
Yeah, no Lord.
and amberjacks, they're known as reef donkeys, and they are some of the strongest fish. Like, I mean, they will
Reef donkey.
work.
That sounds like somebody I used to mess with.
Wait, hold on. What'd you call me?
Damn well, you ain't calling me no reef donkey.
Fighting words, for real.
I'm a reef donkey your ass.
So yeah, that was a really exciting one. And then I was off the Carolina coast and caught a massive grouper, but it was out of season, so you couldn't actually boat it. The captain had to actually send one of the mates overboard to release it because it would have been illegal for us to even try to pull it up out of the water.
Oh,
They
wow.
estimated it was about 110 pounds, 120 based on the size of the fish itself. I was on that one for about 60, 65 minutes straight.
No Lord, no.
Yeah. That's a
And-
workout right
And
there.
that's the
That's
one.
one.
And you want to talk about a workout, and this was several years ago, back when I was powerlifting and in really, really good shape, and I've never had every muscle in my body cramp. Had to sit down, get a Gatorade,
No.
was sweating like
fish would've
it was
won.
rough.
No.
Fishing sound like that's doing pull-ups while playing chess
Yeah,
at
so
the
we're not
same
doing
time.
that.
Right.
So tell us about the fish that got away, because everybody got that.
Oh, of course.
I had a great white on
Right.
my line.
I had a fish that was so big.
And that's where the internet age has changed fishing, because now you can't sit around and just lie about what
Right,
happened.
right,
I
right,
tell
right.
everybody, if anybody says they caught it and they don't have a photo of it, they lying to
They
you.
lying, yeah.
I'd say the one that got away, I was tuna fishing down off of Hatteras in like this epic storm. It was crazy. Like you could actually see the waves cresting and the boat dropping while you were hooked in. The tuna was like, I saw it and it was running, and like I've got my foot on the gunnel, like that's the end of the boat, trying to pull back. This storm's going like it's epic. I'm trying to get somebody to take the picture because I was like, this is the whole perfect
Nobody
storm.
gonna believe
exactly,
it.
Exactly. And that's precisely how I felt. I was like, this is my whole perfect storm stuff. Also, if I go overboard, I want people to understand
Right. This
why Ant died for this
He
fish.
died doing
Like there, was,
something he loved.
like there was a reason.
Jumping off the wall. Oh no, this motherfucker didn't.
And I mean, we worked that fish, and the captain was driving the boat, and I was on it for probably about an hour straight, and the line just snapped. Like this thing, you are tied into these really, really massive fish by a couple of millimeters of essentially string. Like at the end of the day, and they've got really sharp teeth. They cut back and forth, and against not failure. So.
Other than fishing, is there any other kind of hunting that you've ever done?
Yep. So I love to bow hunt. I just got a new crossbow.
My goodness.
I am black. I did want to just go ahead.
Blackness
go on the record.
Everdeen. Blackness Everdeen.
I don't trust nobody with a boat thing in their house, man.
I tell you,
Right.
and the house you want to go to if The Walking Dead ever
Oh,
happens.
this time,
We gonna build. We
The
gonna
zombie
build.
apocalypse.
We gonna build a wall.
Yeah.
We gonna
I'm
go
over that.
fishing and getting
In the
motherfuckers.
basement,
They out the
with
smart.
the bar, the basement got a bar in it, so that's what a bunch of
Hey,
As long as you
you
got,
got some wings there. I'm there.
as long as you got a skill set, you're welcome to come over.
Yeah.
So you
I'm a
said
good
you-
listener. Does that work? He's like, I don't
I'm
know.
a therapist. We got that covered. I'm solid on that one.
So you said you hunted with a bow
Yeah.
and arrow before.
Yeah.
What you hunt?
Wild turkeys.
Wild turkeys, not the alcohol.
With the alcohol.
With alcohol.
With alcohol.
That's when.
Oh, have you ever hunted wild turkeys while drinking wild turkey?
No, because I'm not trying to die.
Right.
Or you ain't trying to kill the person you hunting
Right.
You
with.
ain't lying.
With straight Dick Cheney.
Yeah, I see an orange turkey.
Like, well, what had happened was
Orange turkey, that's the best.
he got in front of me, and
Dick Cheney.
all right. So
He
let
knew
me
not to
ask
get
this.
downrange.
Just getting with the theme of like how, like, all right. So you catch a fish, 79 pounds. What does that relate to as far as like food that you can take home?
So,
Okay,
What
good
are you
question,
looking at?
Good question.
so if you harvest a fish that size, you're probably looking at 2 fillets that are each going to weigh out upwards of about 30 pounds or so, and just figure that, and you just think about it proportionally. So
Yeah.
exactly,
With some
you
hot sauce.
2 pounds a piece, so whatever you cutting
Yep.
them up.
and you vacuum seal it. So what I normally do, I got a portable vacuum sealer, like just one of the little cheapies on Amazon. And if I'm catching something that large, I'm gonna portion them, go ahead and vacuum seal it, freeze it, and so it lasts forever and a day. Give it away to people, but you've got meals. I
Yeah.
mean, you've consistently got food.
You find that much healthier than what you buy in the.
Absolutely, and I think it's partially because you're more thoughtful, and then when you're preparing, when you do it so often, it also forces you to be creative. Of course, nothing better than a fried fish sandwich, but that gets real old
Right, after
real
a while.
quick.
Right.
And
And
so-
there's something ritualistic about it, like the catching the
And the scaling of the fish.
Yeah.
I might have to scale
and
the
you
fish.
like I just imagine somebody doing all that and having candles all around and putting it up and thank you for this food and
It is.
that type of
It is. I mean, it's the entirety of the process. You know, bringing it back to family. It's the ability to feed your family and
That
your
gotta
friends,
feel
and you're
good.
like,
Yeah.
I did this. I
Yeah.
actually
Motherfucking-
brought this
I'm
home.
feeding
if I did something like that, my motherfucking chest would be out all
man,
week.
it be on Facebook too. Like,
I
fed them.
Well,
You see
y'all
them? They
y'all
eat
gonna
it.
appreciate this
See
for
that
me.
baby?
What I'm thinking is, I walk in the supermarket, look at them fish prices, and be like, stick my middle finger up, like,
Nah.
I got 4 months for fish in my freezer right now.
Just
I
candy.
swear to God, I would turn
Catfish.
into a caveman. I wouldn't even be speaking English no more.
So who's on your gotta get fish list? I know Mama's on the list. Who's always getting fish when you come home?
So, of course, mom, my grandmother's on there. I have my mom's side of the family. Most of them are older, so all my great aunts are still around, and they're all, again, from a really small. They're from Newberry, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
I can't come home without making sure that everybody gets that.
Fish.
And then I honestly just let people know what I have and just portion it out. Again, it's just there's something really nice about it. But I also do like some of these trips. You can take so much fish, and it's really unnecessary to do so. But I'll get a bunch, and then you cook that up and just go out, give it to the homeless or something on the weekends, things like that. Like it's an opportunity to do
I
something
love fish,
pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah. Once you listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast, if you want to be a part of the conversation, please hit us up on our social media platforms. On Facebook, you can hit us up at Horsemouth. On Instagram and Twitter, you can hit us up at SFTHM Podcast. That's SFTHM Podcast. We're talking about catching what you, killing what you, eating what you kill.
I got a question.
But also, let us know on the social media. Let us
If
know
you-
if you
yes.
hunt, if you fish. Let
Yeah.
us know what your.
And we're not talking about hunting and fishing for women. We're talking about hunting and fishing for fowl and,
Right.
and bear and deer and game.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna ask? I had a question for you. I don't forgot it now. Yeah.
So the
man.
wild turkeys, did you wind up breaking that down or wow?
Yep. And honestly, that was in my backyard, like because my backyard backs to the woods, and so you could move right through there. And a couple
And
of
there's
times in the
wild
season,
turkeys back there.
there are.
Damn.
in your backyard?
Yeah, with all the construction that's happening, I mean, people. If you think about it, before we got so focused on the way the city is, right?
And this is Maryland, folks. Wild turkeys, right?
Yeah.
Not far from DC though.
But think about it.
We
in
say what
DC
you want, and we south, right?
Exactly.
So-
Berry Farms, everybody knows the project of Berry Farms. That was farmland. Like, this area is incredibly fertile.
With the name.
And
Never thought about that.
and as construction continues to happen, so many of these species are now being forced to and pushed into interaction. I think everybody's really aware of the amount of deer that we
Deer,
have moving
Oh yeah.
in the city. We've got birds of prey. Like, there's a lot.
I've seen a few of those
Eagles and
joints,
stuff too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
like eating
Yeah.
pigeons. I'm like, you're a better bird than I am. I never eat no pigeon.
Oh, that was my question. Best food spot, best fried fish in the area. I'm gonna say Horse and Dickey for me, for my person.
Yeah?
Northeast Horse and Dickey, not Northeast.
You gotta make that
Yeah,
distinction.
you can't play around. So yeah, where y'all at?
So the best one in the city before they got
Before
gentrified
gentrification, yeah.
was Fish in the Hood.
Yes,
I
I was
never got
gonna
Fish in
say
the
that. Now
Never had
it was called. This is how good it was. It was called Fish in the Hood,
Yes, like
and then
Fish in
once
the Hood.
gentrification called this Fish in the
Neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Like, get out of here. That's why they took the salt out.
Yeah.
Now now over in Anacostia, it's a spot called I think he named it Real Brothers. That as a young guy, the DC waterfront used to have the fish market and everything else, and there was a cut house over there. So if you didn't like to clean your fish, you go over there and they clean it.
That's by on MLK Avenue, right?
That's where
right
Real
across
Brothers-
from the
Yep.
the Pepco building
Yep.
and all that. Yeah.
So
I know my fish.
So young brother, he used to clean fish down there when the waterfront was changing and they shut down the fish house and everything.
Yeah.
Got it started as a startup, and he does a good job.
They
Partially
even
because he's been
gentrified
around.
the waterfront.
So what? So where is this now?
So-
What's the name of it?
It's Real
restaurant?
Brothers. Mm-hmm.
Real
It's
Brothers.
a carry out, but I appreciate it because he's also a dude who understands fish, and people will bring him some species of fish that you don't normally see around, because these are everybody who travels and does like a lot of fishing. Sometimes you do just cutting fish, cleaning the fish gets really annoying sometimes. Like, I got a cooler full of fish. I've been fishing for 16 hours. I just want to give it to somebody else, pay a little bit of money and get it done. But
I
that's
would definitely be giving it to someone else.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, take care of that for me.
You got it.
But so you learn so much about species, like Kaleem was referencing, when you go to the grocery store and kind of give them the middle finger to these high prices.
Man.
What we also don't realize is a lot of the things that they are selling in the grocery store are not actually representative of the species that you think you're eating. That's so.
What does that mean?
So everybody pays a premium for red snapper. Everybody thinks
Yeah.
red snapper is the best thing in the world, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I can almost guarantee you that anytime you're purchasing red snapper in the grocery store, you're actually purchasing vermilion snapper, not red snapper. Red snapper is branded as such because they have been, especially American reds, they're a protected species, so they'll only open the season for like one weekend
So it's more
in a given
valuable.
year,
That's what's up.
theoretically. But that's not what you're eating. Like the snapper complex is huge, but they tell you that.
How I got snap in December and the season don't open until
Right,
June.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I got
It's
it.
about a
But
big
that's good.
habit.
But honestly, that's good to know, because when we're talking about health and things like that, like really knowing what you're consuming, what you're putting
Exactly.
in your body,
And you don't know unless you're out there catching it out the ocean.
right?
Yeah.
So this is a good,
So it's
a good lesson for people. So
more
pay
control.
attention. Yeah,
More control
Yeah.
on what you consume.
But that takes a lot more time, man.
Yeah.
You can't. So how much?
But the
okay,
funny thing is, I mean, when you really think about it, right? We talking about time. If Anthony said next Saturday, let's go fishing,
We can get
what would you be doing that you
Nothing.
couldn't be like,
a podcast.
yeah, let's do it?
I'm just messing.
nothing.
I'm serious though, because I
Yeah,
find
that's
myself
true.
doing that, and then it's like when it gets to the time, I make it, and it's like really, I could take the time to go. So you go, and then
And
you
get
got
your
back.
meat for the week.
You got your meat for. It sounds like you can have meat. I mean, fish for a month.
Do it right.
Have
So
you
how-
seen my
how
stomach
often do you
meat
get
for a week,
from,
bro?
From a grocery store, like when's the last time you got fish from a grocery store?
Oh,
Why you laugh though?
He was like, what's a grocery store?
He threw me a softball. He threw me a softball.
I was gonna say-
It's like a grocery store. Nigga, how dare you?
Underhanded right here. I got this. I got it.
I would say legitimately it's probably been several years, and if I did, it would have been like I've got to do. No, it would have been several years. Sorry, I'm actually thinking it through. That
He's like, no.
it's been a good long time, and it's really just because there's so much. Like I've always got so much on deck, and realistically, if I wanted to, you can just go catfishing and catch it yourself.
Catfishing where around here?
Oh, so of course I'm in Southern PG County, and right out in Fort Washington, you can get into some good river fishing. Like the Potomac is chock full.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got one more question. Where's the best place that you can go fishing?
Around here. Close-
Like, if
close
you're going
by.
to take newbies
Yeah.
fishing with you, where would you take
They got
us?
$3 poles from Walmart. That's really what's happening.
Who don't have a pole at all?
I got three $3 poles.
Three,
so we
three.
good.
You got me a pole, Pete?
I got you.
Say that 3 times.
No.
Hell no.
That one left.
I think to answer that question, I'd have to know you're talking about fishing off the boat or fishing off the pier, because those are very different
Off
types
the boat.
Okay.
Off the boat. Let's get it.
Off the boat, if you're taking a newbie out, the easiest and kind of most user-friendly would be Chesapeake Beach Midsummer, where you can do some live lining. Like, it's 40 minutes away from the city, so it's incredibly accessible. You are into the bay inside of 10 minutes from leaving the dock. A lot of different species move through the Chesapeake. Like, we have incredibly fertile waters, so you time it right. Rockfish, everybody knows rockfish.
But croaker?
There haven't been real croaker around here in 20 years.
You broke my heart, bro.
No, I mean,
because that's all I get.
and I only say that because so many people talk to me about setting up trips, and everybody remembers croaker. And like when I was a kid, I remember the same. And you just come home with coolers and coolers full. You can't fish croaker like that here, and I watch so many people waste their money, especially for captains who are unscrupulous and say, "Yeah, I'll take you out.
I'll take you where to get the croaker."
And y'all coming home real stank and real sad. I've got a couple of really good captains who I work with, and they'll keep it 100 with you and just say they're not around. But Chesapeake Beach is probably the most user-friendly spot to go.
Be like, bruh, you know how many black people live in D.C.? You know how much croaker you niggas eat?
And,
Go!
and that's people harvesting. Like, that's people who took way more than they need than the mama needs, because at the end of the day, some of these catch limits are super high, and they're super high because fish reproduce quickly. However, we have outpaced what our oceans can sustain. Because just because I can take 100 fish doesn't mean I
So
need
how
to.
much? And it's funny. You start to sound. You've done a lot of fishing, obviously, but you're how much of an environmentalist you become since you started?
Oh, you still little.
You still live.
No, actually, I don't, and I'm a save the ocean junkie. I'm actually pretty active in conservationism and try to be very, very aware of some of the implications of what we do, because one, it's understanding what you're putting into your body. It's also understanding how we impact our own environment. I enjoy being out there. It is my solace, so I don't want to see us ruining the resource so that the next person can't find that same piece that I have out there.
I love to hear that shit.
I know we about to go to another topic, but
Go
I
ahead,
gotta throw one more
please.
So what's the fish you don't eat? Because I know at one
Tilapia.
point, I was gonna say
Don't eat no-
tilapia. I still eat it, but when I learned out there were doodle eaters, I'm like,
It's even beyond it just being a bottom feeder. It's a fish that genetically has been modified for a consumer marketplace. And I think you have to take that into consideration. There's a reason why it's priced the way it is. Yeah, it tastes good and all
and it
that.
sounds fancy too, man.
It does.
I'll have the tilapia.
Think about it.
please.
Just like when people order swalleye, people think swalleye is so awesome. All swalleye is catfish from the Philippines.
That's hilarious.
So
I'll have some swalleye and tilapia, please.
we're talking about killing what you eat, because because of our health, and we just as at the beginning of the show we dedicated the beginning of the show to John Singleton, and I want to talk a little bit about that. And
He killed the movie industry.
he killed the movie industry. My goodness. And fellas, what are some of y'all favorite John Singleton movies, or what do you?
I mean, every time Boys in the Hood
Yeah.
come on, you watch it, right?
Yeah.
To the point that,
Either
you know,
they don't know,
you know
or
what I'm
they
saying?
don't shout.
When Ricky's running, I'm like, yo, Ricky, you a running back.
I know.
Why are
Come
you
on.
just running
Run
straight? You ain't a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. That's too analytical.
But
Damn,
That's
babe.
too far. That's
like,
too
I
far.
don't know what's going to happen.
You mad because he didn't run a route?
I'm like, yo, dude, you running straight. Like, you running the out route. Like Brett Favre is throwing it in the yard. Yo, dude, you got a shotgun on you. Dodge it out,
I
dude.
thought he was going to try to outrun a
You know what I'm
shotgun.
saying? But Boys to the Hood, every time it comes on, and, Baby Boy, what we said, Taraji Henson.
Oh, Taraji.
Nah.
He said Kakrita. Tequila.
I said,
He actually called it tilapia.
Nah,
She
she killed that role.
Yeah, she puts her all into
Like,
everything.
you feel like that's a woman's gone. Like, whoa. She killed that. She carried that
I
movie.
mean, everything from what
You make me
sick, Jody.
for real.
What did they get the name, Jody?
No,
I
what's
know,
funny
right?
was she said something, and then he was like walking away. She was like, "I hate you," and ran after that. I said,
know.
"Yeah, that's how I go down."
How many times did that
It
happen?
felt real. It felt real. So that's definitely what I watched. And I like
That's a tribute
poetic.
to
I
him.
like poetic justice too.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson.
I like poetic justice.
Yeah, he turned Janet Jackson into an actor, so that's his. I mean, because
You're not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna do that to
Jackson
Janet.
family.
I'm not gonna say Janet's a bad actress. No, I won't say nothing like that.
That's Rhythm Nation right there.
I
Man.
wouldn't say
You gotta
nothing
put
like
some
that.
respect on her name.
No, yeah, but one of my favorites he did was I liked Poetic Justice. I liked it was a road trip. You know what I'm saying? And very rarely do you. John Singleton had that ability to humanize black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make our stories not necessarily palatable to white people, but just palatable to us.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I've
That's
been
real.
on trips before like that.
But you think about that story, you got a mailman who's taking a trip, who's going to see his cousin
Yeah.
who got music,
That's
and they
real.
gonna do hip hop.
Yeah.
That's real.
Like,
That's
There's
How many
probably
times did that
people
happen?
who relate to that story,
Yeah.
whether you work in a 9
Your
to 5.
favorite rapper probably did some shit
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying? Like just a regular dude who's grinding
Yeah.
out, trying to make it. Like
It's
a lot
his
of
life.
people have started like that. So right, it's a real, and it's a simple story.
Right.
It's not craziness that goes on. It's not a lot.
Right.
It's but it's a dope movie.
Yeah.
And that one probably isn't on as much. So when you watch that, it's like, oh yeah, this is cool.
It's a dope
That's
story.
what Tupac like couldn't be.
Yeah, everybody.
And now everybody
Tupac
saying
did a
that.
good job.
Yeah.
He did.
Tupac did a good
Yeah.
job.
You know what I was thinking, P? He has this television show he produced, and he kind of writes on what was called Snowfall. It's
Oh yeah.
on
I heard about
FX.
it.
That's a good
It's a really good show.
That's a good show.
It's a
That's
show.
a good
I heard
show.
about it.
Oh man, when you get it, I know you don't watch that much TV,
Nah.
P, but when you get a
I
chance,
know.
That's a good
I'm
show.
almost tempted to pay P cable bill
Man.
just so we can catch
I got
up.
Hulu Plus, which is like amazing, but like I end up watching like Animal Fight Night, just random intervention, 600-pound stuff.
Yeah, he
I
likes
watch-
therapy like
Yeah,
shit.
I like that exactly. Yeah. So anyway, enough about that.
You got a favorite John Singleton flick? John Singleton moment?
Boys in the Hood. I
Yeah.
guess that's a classic. But I do like Baby Boy as well, which is also like a hood classic.
It
Yeah,
is a
both
hood
of them are
classic.
classics. Yeah, I remember I had the Wu soundtrack.
Yeah?
And that got vetoed. I was trying to push for it, but that was
He's like,
vetoed.
play some
quickly.
Wu.
He's like, what? We're not
You
gonna
mean like
play no
Wu-Tang
Wu
Clan?
that
No,
nobody
motherfucker,
heard
Wu.
of. Like nobody
Jada
heard of.
Pinkett, right?
Thank you, Colleen.
Out of all the songs,
Bossalina. Thank you, Bossalina.
I'm gonna get a song off the Wu
I
sound.
was like, what is the Wu? Is that a movie?
I
Like
said
John
Wu.
Singleton.
I said-
Boys in the Hood. Poetic Justice,
No, I'm
Baby
thinking-
Boy.
I
Oh,
said-
and he also did Woo.
He did the Wu. And Too Fast.
I said,
woo.
I said, why we doing a Wu Tang joint? With a star for John Singleton. He's like,
No
nah.
Wu.
Woo.
I couldn't tell you what that movie's about, but I think it was true.
And all I remember was Jada Pinkett was knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, man.
Y'all been catching up with the NBA playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah? What's going on?
What's the shock?
I've been
Is there any
YouTubing.
shocks right now
Nah.
that y'all think of?
I am actually shocked that even though Milwaukee is the #1 seed, I'm surprised they standing toe to toe with Boston. That game the other night. This is why I'm starting to say that Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever how you pronounce his name,
Kimpo or something.
out of
You
Giannis.
Giannis.
I'm starting to say Giannis is probably like the third best player in the league behind Bron and Durant. He started off that game nervous as fuck. Nervous as hell. And then all of a sudden he got relaxed and he just basically took over that game. And they beat Boston on their home court.
They up right now.
Yeah.
By a lot. I think like 15 last time I looked.
Yeah, they definitely up. So
And Harden.
I think the shock for me, I thought it would probably be 1-1 at this point. I wouldn't have thought that it would have been 2-0. Because I thought they was better. They was better match.
Who,
the
Houston
Rockets
and
Golden
State.
and Golden State.
Yeah.
I would have thought that they would have won at least one.
But
of the first two.
you see how Golden State just flicked that switch on and they just dominated it?
That's the danger with them. I mean, you think about it. To me, like I said, I've said before, I think Durant's the best
Anybody
player
can
at
go
this.
off.
At this point,
Anybody
Durant.
can go off on the Golden State.
But
Yeah.
you got Durant, right? But then you got the best player. Then
Yeah.
you got Curry, the best shooter.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You
then
know
you
what I
got
mean? Then you got Clay,
Clay, who shuts down your
Then
best
you got-
defenders
Right.
sometimes.
Quietly.
Quietly shut down
Quietly.
your
Yeah.
best offensive player.
So I mean, that's what can you do against them? I mean, I know I definitely I can't go back. I definitely picked the Rockets over them.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about last season and how close it was, and thinking maybe.
Yeah.
But they definitely did flip that switch. Like it's playoff time.
Yeah. And James Harden, I mean, I hate to say it, he just looks so unprepared for it.
He's a thespian.
What disappointed me with him was it game one when he had a chance to win the game, and instead of like really shooting the ball, he like looked for the foul
Yeah.
on a 3-pointer.
He sort of reminds me of how Paul George is. Paul George will give you some. He had an MVP caliber season, but when playoff season started and when the pressure gets on, Paul George got small.
Yeah.
And sometimes the old adage, how do you stop James Harden? Put him in the game 7. That's how you stop him.
Put him in the game one. You know
Put
what I'm saying?
him in the playoffs. That's how you stop James Harden.
But it seems like things like I didn't realize. I was watching ESPN. I saw this stat. I didn't realize that he had like 95, fouled 95 times when shooting a 3-pointer, and the next closest person
It's like
was
40
like
something.
Kimbo Walker.
Yeah,
was
Kemba
like
Walker.
20 something.
Yeah.
30 something. So basically, when he goes up, and they started breaking down the film and showing like when he goes up, he either jumps into people.
Yeah. If it's an
Goes
open
his
3,
foot out.
he stands straight up.
Right.
If someone's coming in and he'll
Exactly.
initiate contact.
But then you think and you say, all right, there's things that first of all, you ain't gonna do that against the champs. You ain't gonna get that call.
You're not.
You definitely ain't gonna get that call with 10 seconds left.
And you're not going to get it in the playoffs.
It's
At
different.
all. Playoffs?
Right. You talking playoffs, but it's a different. And if he doesn't know that and doesn't have that mentality,
Yeah.
they might get swept.
Yeah. But looking at Milwaukee, I think Bledsoe is the person that made. First of all, they hired Budenhauser, who I don't know why Atlanta got rid of him. But I think once they got Eric Bledsoe, or am I saying it right? Once they got Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
No, not Drew. Drew Brees. No, stop. Once they got Bledsoe, I think that's when they took that next step. So although I said Boston is going to win that series and Boston is going to the finals, Milwaukee's putting the fear of God in me right now because Giannis woke the fuck up. Look at that shit. He woke the fuck up and Antetokounmpo. All right, fellas.
Yo, we get Anthony. What's going on with the playoffs? You been following?
Clearly, I'm sitting around here in a cap shirt and still in mourning over the NHL.
So you haven't moved on to basketball just yet?
Honestly, with work, this is the first sports I've seen in like the last 3 weeks. To be perfectly honest,
I'm with you.
We just
I
recently
appreciate that.
that's why I'm sitting here quietly because it's the first thing
We
I've been
just
able to watch.
recently
in a
had the
minute.
draft, and of course, I'm sure your man is not happy. New York. First
All
of
right,
all,
let's
let's set the scene, right? Look at I'm across from Khalid, right? And he got on a New York blue shirt, New York blue headphones, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he got the red joint,
red
red
cord.
cord.
You're like a giant.
Yeah, he. So.
And
How
I
did
did
you-
have my New York Giants hat on today.
He looked like
And my
Plaxico Burress
company
when he
was
shot
treated.
himself.
Tell me how you feeling about y'all draft, man?
All right, this is what I'm gonna say.
Shit.
Publicly.
If you was gonna take a quarterback at 6, Haskins had to be that guy.
See, that's the thing.
At 6, but let me finish.
Go ahead.
Because the quarterback they drafted, you could have got him in the second round. Nobody wanted him. You could have got Jones second round, and you could have got what's the pass rusher out of Kentucky?
Oh, God.
You could have got him at 6, and you could have got the same guy that you got at later on, because so your defense could have had a nice future, and then you could have went and got him in the second round. You ain't have to get him at 6. He's
Daniel
not
Jones. Yeah.
He's not a 6 pick.
You don't think so?
And if you don't want Haskins, that's cool. If you don't want him, but you don't pick Daniel Jones at number 6. There's no upside to that dude.
What if he winds up being the next Aaron Rodgers?
Hell no.
Tom Brady.
Hell no. Not at number 6. He'd have had to now if he came out at second round and did decent. All right, so I did a little research on him. He's the type of quarterback. He might not. He's a systems guy, right? So short past 5 yards, he's gonna do exactly what you want him to do, but he's not gonna win no games like what I'm saying, like that. You can't put the game on his shoulders. But he gonna do the 5-yard dump off. He gonna do that. The good thing is, he did for a bad team. They was 8-3 or something like that, so he did good for that. But you have a chance to take a quarterback, and Haskins to me has a great upside.
You think so? He only played 1 year.
He played 1 year, but in the right system.
But isn't your guy a Manning camp guy? Like, wasn't that part
That's
of
the reason why.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
All right, so it's funny.
I think
but here's what's funny.
y'all got the better quarterback than we
Here's
did.
what's funny. You got Eli who want to keep playing. Like, yeah. Go ahead and get Jones. He did that for himself. He didn't do that.
That's
for
like saying,
himself.
go get Liam to play quarterback.
Right.
He's the next one.
We good.
He's gonna replace me. No.
But they was high, so you.
But the edge rusher you was talking about was Joshua Allen.
A beast. Like,
Yeah.
why not? And say, all right, we're not even gonna worry about quarterback. We going the second round, and we gonna do our defense this year, right? A lot of championship teams was built on getting defense first and then building that out afterwards.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why they picked him early. We had the 15th pick. We needed a quarterback. Miami was all set to trade for Josh Rosen with Arizona. So, and Green Bay at 12, they already got Aaron Rodgers, right? But I wouldn't. So the reason why they took him early because we was going to take Jones, but instead we decided to take Haskins. When I say we, the Redskins, right? I personally think Daniel Haskins is going to be a bust. And here's the reason why.
Haskins the receiver.
Haskins is a quarterback.
Quarterback.
Now, and it breaks my heart because Haskins is a brother, right? But I think he's going to be a bust, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. He only played for 1 year, right? Remind me of, there have been several quarterbacks that played for 1 year that wound up being bust, that it was so hype. I think of Matt Leinart. He played for 1 year. Most recently, he played for us, and he played for the Jets, Mark Sanchez. I don't think this kid is ready to play. I think but knowing our team and knowing our owner, he's going to try to start him day one. In fact, it was the owner that wanted him, and the rest of the folks that on the draft board, they didn't want him. I honestly think that's going to be but the best first round pick was not that they drafted that day was not Dwayne Haskins. It was Martin. It was Sweat, the defensive end. I think he's going to make our defense better. That's that one. We haven't had a pass rusher since Dexter Manley.
Yeah. I think you gotta do. For me,
and how long ago that was.
I would have rather us have lost him, got the pass rusher out of Kentucky.
That would be the giant thing to do.
And
go
worry
defense
and got a quarterback later. I actually like the kid Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Because he's also been playing for a while, has a big arm, is more of a gunslinger. He got drafted by the Broncos in the second round. That was the quarterback I thought, and not even first round, but second round. You could have wound up getting him. I thought he would have had a better upside. You know what I mean? And I'm not I definitely agree, but the one thing I would say that if Jones had a season, if anybody else had a season like Haskin, people would have been so high on him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing I look at. And yeah, he only played 1 year. So and in the NFL, out of any other sport, it is about the system and what coaches you have. So if you come out and they start him day one, no tutelage, no nothing like that, he could definitely be a bust. But I think he has a lot more upside to me than Jones has. So I'd rather us pick him at 6 and him be a bust than Jones get picked at 6 and be a backup to Eli, and then we wind up having to get another quarterback in 3 years. So,
well, we will see. We will see because
I hope I'm wrong because I'm Giants to the death. I hope I'm wrong, but
listen, I already told you I get more entertainment out of watching my team crash and burn than anything they do on the field.
Preseason,
We're the preseason Super Bowl champions all the time.
Every year.
And the Redskins fans are just, I'm a fan myself, but they're just crazy. They can make one. Oh my goodness, we got a third string nose tackle out of Mississippi Valley.
That'd be me though.
Union
I'd be right
Corn
with 'em. Like,
State.
it kind of looks
Super
good.
Bowl, baby.
It kind of look good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Look, as long as them boys got their Eastern Motors commercials,
I
that's
know,
it.
man.
You know, Haskins already got his. He's ready.
Eastern Motors. I know,
good
right?
there. He
With
like,
Wale in the background.
like,
Get
oh,
ready for it.
That's their one. That's the one. Wale always in the background.
It worked though, because I was looking for a car. I definitely went to Eastern Motors to look just to
Terrible.
peruse. I'm pretty sure it's gonna give me a lemon.
It's
but
always
What's this song? Eastern
There can
Motors.
Motors.
Your job's your
Your
credit.
job's your
credit.
You, when you hear that, you know
Yeah,
that
you know that means that
That
the APR gonna be over 15 or some shit like that.
27%.
You can have a credit score of 850. Your
It's like
your
you got
APR
a Kia
Yeah.
for $1,500 a month. payment.
Right.
Like,
But it's
Yeah.
yours though.
No lie, before I bought my last truck, I went in there. I already had the deal for the truck, but I'd never been to Eastern Motors, so I was like, sure, let me go ahead and sit in here. I'm watching a woman beg and plead to buy a Honda Sonata at 22.9%
No.
over 73 months.
Jeez.
She's calling to get other people to bring her money there. And I'm
That's
trying to
6
blink at her.
years?
I'm like, lady, don't.
Don't do it.
It's a Honda
No.
Sonata, please.
Right.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
you're going to be mad in about a
Don't do
week.
it.
Yeah. 'Cause
I was like, this is like a check
Man,
cashing
the
place.
best thing,
All over.
the day I knew I was a grown up was when I paid like $2,000 less for a cup for sticker price,
Yeah.
and my APR was 3.3%.
That
I was like, I'm a grown man now, mama.
Yeah. We ain't gotta live like that no more.
We don't. I can
Yeah.
put gravy on my food now.
Hyundai is the only car, like, I really feel like Hyundai looks good brand new, but like after 2 years, you're like, oh.
I can't even say that I've ever seen a used one on the road.
Yeah, man, I'm like, it's like a Hyundai. I mean, even the Genesis, like, if you look at a 3-year-old Genesis, you'd be like, like a Hyundai. I don't know. Hyundai they got an expiration date on it. They 2 years, man. You gotta get rid of them. At least that. I'm sorry, Hyundai. Send me a car. I'll drive 2 years.
So, all right, fellas. Now, we normally do our stories at the beginning of the how was our week at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
We wanted to talk a little bit about John Singleton and give him his proper dues and make a smooth transition. So I'm gonna tell you about my week, right? And of course, you guys can chime in. So, remember I told you guys about the situation that's happening in a certain area in DC. I don't want to give out the name because I gotta be mindful of HIPAA and all that other good stuff.
I'll say it. Yeah, I'll say it though. Let me get a hint.
So, and just to give you a little bit of background, there's a person who's experiencing homelessness, and there's an encampment. This person is 82 years old. Health is iffy, and there's a person that's tasked to clean up the area.
Oh, that's jacked up.
Yeah. And, around the area and stuff like that. And when he gets close to the guy says some vile things to him. But think of it like this. if someone came in your house and started removing stuff,
And
how
you
would
don't
you?
have, you don't have a gun. That's
Yeah.
that's your defense mechanism.
How would you feel? You would feel
talk
fucked
trash.
up. Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to explain, and thank God for little progresses. I'm trying to explain this to the guy before, but if he finally got it this week. When I said to him, I was like, man, think about this. Just think about what you're doing. I know we both grew up in D.C. You gotta be tough. You gotta be masculine. You gotta be strong. A cold-blooded dude. There's a time and place for that. Do you really think the time now for an 82-year-old guy with mental illness to fight him because he said some nasty words to you? Do you really think this is the appropriate time to be that dude? I understand. You gotta be that dude. To be black in this country, you gotta show some muscle.
But it's now the time.
But it's now the time to do that. He was like, you know what, man? You right.
I can't
Right.
stand that. I can't stand to see like
Yay.
authority being exerted when it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, man.
That's
I'm like,
sickening.
and I'm not down to, because, I'm not down to playing his job. Look,
Yeah.
a black person that's working, I'm always going to show them the utmost respect, regardless if you clean the toilet or you run the country. You're going to get the same amount of respect from me. And thank God for little progresses. I mean, he was like, hey, you right, man. I'm not even going, you know what I'm saying? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to him. If you can help me talk to him, I can give him a trash bag, and the stuff that he don't need, he just put it in the bag and put it to the side, and I'll take it. And he agreed to that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
thank God for progress.
I just saw, especially on the news, they was talking about like there's a lady who got her college degrees thrown away in that kind of heat.
In the encampment, right?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I got mixed emotions about that.
Yeah.
And it's not really too mixed. I think you let them stay there, man. Let them stay there,
Yeah,
man.
you reduce the harm
Who
until
you bothering, man?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna take my housing. I'm living on the streets already. You're gonna take what I have on my street.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yo, I had
So that's how my week was.
I had an interesting. Well, all right. So let me go back, and this is why I told my daughter to go upstairs, right? So
She gonna
last
listen too.
week, my daughter, she, Morgan is she splits households, right? So she with me a week, with her mom's a week. So last Tuesday, she was supposed to come. I was supposed to pick her up. Mom's called me and says, "Yeah, she gonna stay with me for a couple more days because she just got her
Okay.
period,
Yeah.
right?"
Damn, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Stay with mama. Go
So
ahead.
I'm like,
You fine.
and I'm driving.
I wouldn't know how to deal with
I'm
that.
Stay
driving,
with mama.
and for whatever reason, I got mad anxious. Like my heart, I'm like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on, right? I'm
Yeah,
driving
no,
to
stay
work,
with
and I'm
mama.
That's
like,
all right.
no, but I'm thinking, absolutely, right? She got to know how to what to do, whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, text me like what you buy for her, so I can buy the same things here. So then Sunday come, I go out, I buy all the stuff, I go pick her up, I bring her here, I just give it to her in a bag. It's like the pads and all
That's a
that.
nigga like me would
wash
buy
or
air
whatever.
freshener, car air freshener,
So I
band-aids.
didn't say anything. I just kind of gave it to her. And she's like, oh. She put it like kind of like her room here is like her room at home. So she put it in a drawer, did all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. So
Oh,
Norellis
really?
apparently went up to her and said, look, got any stuff, anything going on here, you can always ask me, stuff like that. So me and her didn't talk about it. So then today we in the car and I'm like, maybe I should say something, right? so I say,
This about to be terrible.
Yeah, I can see the crash and burn now.
so I say,
Yield, nigga,
so
yield.
we driving. I'm like, all right, so everything okay? She's like, yeah. What? And I say, with that little situation. Shut up! I say with that, that situation.
I'm out my ride.
Your menstrual cycle, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, oh okay. She said,
You
yeah.
needed more help than she did.
She was cool with it. Then she said, yeah, I'd rather just told me, if I need something while I'm here with y'all, I can just ask. And it felt good, and then she just,
Oh man.
and then she just put her earphones back on and was
Oh,
start
God.
watching
and
YouTube.
kept it moving.
Like, yeah, I'm not gonna have this conversation with you. Then.
But it was, well, the good thing is that she didn't feel like
Right, embarrassed.
any way about it. I was more like, that little situation, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what to say. So it felt good, like, all right,
That's what's up, man. She
she's
feel
good.
comfortable,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm just thinking, man, like, my
It's-
little girl, like,
It's real.
she's really growing up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right in front of your eyes too.
Yeah,
That
like
is-
I wasn't, even though you knew it was coming, I'm like, man, I thought I had another year. But
Another year. You always think that, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But and then another thing, then on she got at me a couple days ago. Her and her friends was setting up a time to go to the movies. So they wanted to go. So after school, now mind you, let me put the scene. Like my daughter goes to private school. She did not grow up like I grew up, right? So she's very nice, happy-go-lucky, doesn't really know street, anything like that, right? So they're like, all right, they're going to go to the movies. After school, her and like 4 of her friends go to Georgetown, go to the movies. They want to jump on the bus afterwards. So she asked her, could she go? I'm like, nah, like, I don't feel comfortable with
Yeah.
that because
When do you?
I haven't really,
Yeah.
like now I realize, okay, that next step has to happen, right? I have to start helping her to be more independent. So I was like,
Yeah.
the next level is maybe me grabbing your friends, going to the movies, letting y'all go in, do everything on your own, and then
Coming
y'all
back,
come
do-
out.
See
How did that go?
Oh man.
Because I started questioning. I said, all right, so what happens if you jump on the bus? Now, we know how it is.
Yeah.
What if there's another group of girls on the bus and they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, she
Y'all private
told
school
me
girls.
that ain't gonna happen. We in Georgetown. I said, all right, see,
That's where it happens
You're
at.
right.
Everybody
I
done took the
said-
bus to Georgetown.
What if you saw someone act, because she knows that, I was heavy in the mental health field. I said, what happens if you see that happening? Georgetown, it could be on the corner. What would you do? She looked at me with a blank stare. I said, okay, we can start going that next level if you want to do
Yeah.
that, but we have to do it
Right.
at a certain
I was-
pace.
You
I
gotta
can't just
demonstrate.
let
gotta
you...
demonstrate.
Right,
Yeah.
I can't just be
Talking
like,
about,
all
yeah.
right, cool, I'm at work 3:30, you and your girls going to movies,
Yeah,
and
so-
I'm picking you up at 7 o'clock for the
Yeah.
movies. I don't know nothing. Like, nah, we
Yeah.
gotta work there.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
she was
You
upset.
take it in small steps. I mean, give them
Man,
small.
A+, A+ right now.
But I
man.
started thinking, okay, I gotta like she's growing up,
She's gotta get
Yeah.
exposed to it.
and I gotta start exposing her to certain things and
man.
figuring out how to do that. So that was like my week and a half. You know what I mean? That's what's been going on with me.
What's been
mostly.
going on with you, young man, young Anthony?
Busy as always. I think everybody who's around the district knows we've got some major substance use issues happening around here.
Oh, yeah.
K2, right?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
send the text message out today, like, if you see somebody in the road, call us.
yeah. And I mean, just realistically, like, I think everybody does what they do because they believe in it, they're passionate about it, but it's also heartbreaking. Like, we've seen the city take a turn
Yeah.
before, and this is a drug that's specifically marketed to poor people. $2,
Right.
$3 to
Right.
get a hit, and it's out there. It's legitimately killing
Where are
people.
they getting it from?
And that's the very interesting conversation that's going right now. Like, there are a couple of different pipelines. I've got some partners in Baltimore, Philly, and New Jersey, and we're trying to set up a collaborative so we can at least start to look at trending
Is
and
that-
whatnot.
Is that why the mayor did that marijuana initiative?
So there are a couple of different citywide initiatives that are really targeting our substance use disorders, and then actual adequate information campaigns. I think everybody remembers when they were running around and saying that K2 was synthetic weed. Clearly, that wasn't
That's
true, and
not
it's so far from
Right.
marijuana. It's cartoonishly laughable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've just been really trying to deal in the space of keeping people alive and trying to help, because there are a couple of really well-known hot spots on downtown. I think everybody knows, but east of the river hasn't been getting much attention, and so we've been really trying to concentrate our efforts about being in 7 and 8, getting the word out, and not just letting our people be passed out on South Capitol Street where nobody bothers to call.
It's heartbreaking. And Minnesota Avenue. they passed
Minnesota
out.
and Good Hope. That is
Yeah.
the new spot, and the reason that's the spot is because there was an entire crew that used to be up on 8th and 8th Street. there was a concentrated effort to clean that area up, quote unquote.
Gentrification.
And so all those folks, like that entire crew, has been pushed down,
So
and
you
that's
said
where it's
the
at.
D8, 3 or 4 stops.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
I used to ride a D8.
See, you're a Washingtonian now.
I used to ride a D8, yeah, that ain't too far.
so
All right, cool.
What's been going on, man?
Yeah, what's been going on, bro? Got the Superman shirt on.
Yeah, man. I walk around like I got an S in my chest. But nah, nothing, man. Just watching the little fella get bigger. Hayes, he's getting bigger. He's just, he really is attached to like his mother, Tanae. He is like, whenever she walks in the room, like he could be hungry, he could be whatever. He's fussy. You see her, he's like, hey. But I will say, I did find a way to make him laugh this week, and it's over now. Once I figure out how to make you laugh, then that's my only goal in life. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, make him laugh.
It's hard to get boys off their moms.
Oh boy, they see me talking trash to me like, yeah, just like you and your mama. I do talk to my mom every day, but it's different. I be like
you and your mama.
Let me tell you, I do be saying the same thing my daddy said though. My daddy's like, y'all sickening. Why y'all just? He used to always say that. Now I be saying that to Tanae because they really are. They just be.
What does
hey,
he do?
boo,
Like,
boo. Just all of that. Hey, boo, boo, boo. I'm like, man, y'all sickening. Yeah, I'm like, for real, because he don't need a bottle, he don't need to be changed, anything. If his mom in the room, he is completely fine.
I agree with you. I think I'm
he
coming
looks like his mama though.
He
That's
do
what
like
that-
his
yeah.
mama, but when he get close, he
spit
look
him
like me. Like right
if you
here.
squint your
You
eyes
done
and
said it
turn them to the
before, like,
side a little
the-
bit.
The head is P,
Yeah.
but the face.
Especially like he get mad, he starts squinting up his face. I'm like, oh, that's your mama. He start. And they be doing the same thing together. Like, so he'll be sneezing. She got allergies, so she always sneezing.
Oh.
They'll be coughing at the same time.
So it's already 2 against 1.
Man, it's bad. It's bad. I figure once he gets to walking and talking, he gonna be.
How much are y'all becoming like y'all parents?
Man, it's pretty bad. It's not even intentional, but it's
I know.
It's really like y'all sick.
Did somebody turn up the damn thermostat? That's
Yeah.
my grandfather
Oh,
used to
yeah.
say that.
I'm
That's
definitely
me.
turning into the old cranky guy.
Yeah, for no
I
reason.
know, man. You used to be so cool. Now I don't want to live. I don't want
definitely
people
that.
coming up here. They don't. They can't be hanging out on the front.
Playing music and stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely that person.
Y'all motherfuckers breathing too hard outside.
Get a renovation in this house, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Start living different.
Get all sedity
You know about it too,
with
man.
ceiling fans and double stoves and shit.
Oh, double stove. Double stove.
Double oven.
Double
Yeah,
oven.
Double oven.
Double oven. My bad.
You hear it right? You hear it right?
Right.
Home Depot for that. So yeah, you gonna call that right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's how our week was. Why don't you tell us how your week was? You can reach out to us on our Gmail account at sfthmpodcast@gmail.com. That's sfthmpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to leave you guys with this. In honor of John Singleton, a positive quote.
Yes.
We all die, right? The goal is not to live forever. The goal is to create something that will.
Nah, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Go ahead, Lane.
Yeah, go ahead, Lane.
Say something, baby.
I was gonna say that's the way to end the show.
Yeah.
For the Tom and Black, Sean P,
Yeah.
and our guest host
Anthony, find you a squad that love you like Lean loved New York. God bless.
Yeah.
Peace.
Microphones are not for these MCs who don't have no survival. Microphones are not for these MCs who don't have no survival. Microphones are not for these MCs who don't have no survival. Survival.
See what I've been through, see what I go through. If I don't look at you, cause I don't know you. Know where to go to, know where to hide. What does it take nowadays to survive? See what I've been through, see what I go through. If I don't look at you, it's cause I don't know you. Know where to go to, know where to hide. What does it take nowadays to survive?
Small time rappers ain't dope as us. When you hear rappers in the club, you hope it's us. Back in the days, they used to smoke the dust, but cats kept jumping off the roof too much. So today, we don't abuse the Dutch. We use our minds to write rhymes that you can touch. My feet stay planted on the ground. You want that soft pop shit, you better book another sound. We gets down, I know the streets. Y'all rappers got maps out, looking all around. Y'all want the crown, but why should I battle you if next week they're gonna put you in the ground? That's a waste of time. I'd rather blaze a rhyme or someone trying to raise their mind. Bucktown, USA, Boogie Down Connect. Yo, Buck, what the fuck they gon' say?
Who cares? They want that pop shit, that soft hip hop shit, that KRS and Buck Not shit, boy. Beats banging on your door like rent time. I invent the rhyme that was meant for your mind, or I get physical. I mean physical. Might lean with a smile and kill you in style. Wow, I am just the smartest MC. I am known as what you call an artist MC. See, part of me be like, pardon me. The other half be like, motherfuck, man, it's bust the hammer. Damn, I feel like a mattress. The way they keep sleeping on me, they don't see I'm the Craftmatic. I spread everywhere, lead everywhere. Shot ricochet and bounce back looking heavy, yeah. And my deadly year, lit machete, yeah. You lit professing, but you feeling on your chest. See what I've been through, see what I go through. If I don't look at you, cause I don't know you. Know where to go to, know where to hide. What does it take nowadays to survive? See what I've been through, see what I go through. If I don't look at you, it's cause I don't know you. Know where to go to, know where to hide. What does it take nowadays to survive? Survival, 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 Master Flex, he down with us. DJ Premier, he down with us. My man Tony Touch, he down with us. DJ Green Lantern, he down with us. All the heavy hitters, they down with us. DJ Mr. C, he down with us.
Yup, DJ Evil D, he down with us. And DJ Kenny Parker, down with us. Making funky music is a must. Making funky music is a must. I'm number one.
The views on Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast do not represent any of our advertisers, unless they like it.